This is the My Pleasure book tag. Thank you, Steve. It's tagged by Steve Donahue. And my pleasure is to come out early in March and dig out my stinking car because we got a foot of snow last night. So it's actually a pretty nice day out though. But I will spend a little while shoveling this up and then I'll answer the prompts. So this is the My Pleasure book tag. It's an original tag by Steve Partridge, a channel I really enjoy. And I was tagged by Steve Donahue. So let's get right into it. The first prompt is Think, a book that made you think hard. And for that I'm going to choose this, Bill Moyer's The World of Ideas. And it's conversations. Now this came out in 1989, Doubleday. And it's broken into two parts, Changing American Values and then American Values in the New Global Society. So it would be, they did two of these, this one and a follow-up. And I really wish they'd do another one because a lot's changed even since this. I'll give you an idea, you can just pause to look who's in this. But it's a who's who of, thinkers and writers and anthropologists and sociologists and physicists. Asimov's in here, Barbara Tuchman. It just, both of them are wonderful, and it would be a great thing to make a new one, a third one, that brings us up to date. So that would be my choice for that. Love, a book that broke or mended your heart. And for that, 84 Charing Crossroad by Helene Hamp, the conversations and letters that she had with Frank Dole. And it's funny, and it's touching, and it's sad, and it's uplifting. It's all those things. It's a short little thing, and it's a book lover's treasure. And the movie I liked even more. As much as I loved this book, I loved the movie even more. It was Anne Bancroft and Anthony Hopkins, and it was just a joy. So Dame Judi Dench is in it. Just a great cast and a great story. It's beautifully done. So then Eat, a book that nourishes you. And that's this big old Fiden Press, The Silver Spoon, which it's been a landmark in Italian cooking for half a century. This one I have came out in 2005. It's printed in Italy, but it originally is first published in 1950, so it's 60 plus years old. So it's just one of those cookbooks that I absolutely love. Now I've collected a few of these Fiden Press volumes. It's got bunches of ribbon markers and all that. I've collected a few of them. I've got one on Spanish cooking and a few other things, but there's a lot of them and they're all beautiful. So the next one is Laugh, a book that brought a little comic relief. And for that, I'm going to go straight to Edward Gorey. He did some great paperback book covers. One of my favorites being War of the Worlds. His art is what's used in the opening of the PBS program Mystery. And it just hilarious guy in an odd way. It works for me. So this is interviews selected and edited by Kara Wilkin. And some of you will recognize his artwork. And yeah, I really, really enjoy him. So the next one is Sex, a book that explores or contains sexuality that doesn't make you cringe. Now, I have a lot of books, as a lot of you know, and I had a tough time with this. I seem to read an awful lot of books that have closed door policy. They close the door if something's going to happen, and you just, I don't seem to have a lot of books that have much coverage of this subject. And I really sat down and thought about it because it's an important thing to think about. It's important how you handle it in writing. It's important how you handle it in your life. So I finally thought back to a book I read in my teenage years, and one that I think explores and handles the subject brilliantly. And that, I don't have a copy anymore, which is ridiculous, but that, and hopefully I can get you to see this. I'm not very good at this. I had to grab this thing. The Left-Handed Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. And many of you will know the book. And I'll just leave it at that. It handles the subject in a very unique and interesting way. So the next one is Rest, a book that gave you peace, reflection, or just calms you down. And for that, we'll go to this old volume, The Collected Poems of Robert Frost. I've read them since I was a young fella, and had this volume forever. I have many volumes of his works. This is copyright 1936 by Robert Frost, but this is a printing from 1942. So it's a Garden City Publishing reprint edition. Starts off with the figure a poem makes, and I have what my favorites are. Changes from different times of my life. So the table of contents here, you get A Boy's Will, which is a collection. You get North of Boston, which I have in a separate volume also. The Mountain Interval, which starts off with The Road Not Taken. North of Boston started with Mending Wall. You got New Hampshire. A Further Range, Taken Doubly. West Running Brook, Taken Singly. 10 Mills, The Outlands Build Soil. Afterthought, and A Witness Tree. So just my thing. So I very much enjoy it. And then Experience, a book that introduced you to a new subject or shifted your perspective. I'm a big fan of the late art critic Robert Hughes. And he's written some wonderful books, and this was the book that introduced me to his work. I read this when it first came out, so it would have been, so it's Barcelona, Robert Hughes, Alfred A. Knopf, 1992. And I knew nothing about Barcelona. And the book and the writing, like I say, is excellent. The book was just such a joy, and I learned so much. What a rich history. And it's a city biography. It's just absolutely wonderful book, and I can't recommend it highly enough. And it's worth a reread. So that was the My Pleasure book tag, an original tag by Steve Partridge. And I was tagged by Steve Donahue, so thank you, Steves. I'm going to go ahead and tag, I don't know who's been tagged. I know that Steve's done it, obviously, and Steve's done it. He made it. So I'll tag Paperback Juncky, Earnestly Eston, Elena Makridina, Runwright Reads, Mel's Bookland Adventures. I don't know if she's done it yet. And anyone else. So.